Our next guest is half of the dynamic duo known as the Sloan brothers. These expert entrepreneurs have shared their knowledge with so many business owners all over the United States. Please welcome Rich Sloan. Rich, great to have you with us.
Hello, and I like to refer to myself as 3/4 of the dynamic duo of the Sloan brothers.
There you go.
But really, I like to refer to myself as a fraction of the huge community of very passionate startup entrepreneurs, hundreds of thousands of them at startupnation.com.
Right, startupnation.com has been immensely popular. And is this something you just started to try to help other people?
It is. As lifelong entrepreneurs, my brother Jeff and myself just had accumulated a lot of experience and absolutely love the lifestyle that being an entrepreneur afforded us. And we wanted to help other people have that same lifestyle, and that's the genesis of startupnation.com. It's now over 175,000 pages of content.
Wow, that's incredible. Now, I know there are a lot of people watching who are going to have questions for you. So there they are, questions at sbsummit.com right there on your screen. You can call in if you want. We'll take your call live, 1-888-455-3111. This is your chance to talk to 3/4 of the Sloan brothers today. So let's start with the no-nos that many small businesses can avoid. What's your best advice there?
Yeah, first of all, I think a lot of entrepreneurs are guilty of doing things in the wrong order, and they take unnecessary risks. Risks are throughout the startup process, but many risks you don't have to take. And one of the first no-nos is that people often get into business. The first thing they do is they write the business plan, but really the first thing they should be doing is writing the life plan. In other words, doing the self-assessment. What are your skills? What are your resources? What risks are you willing to take? What are the things that you love doing, etc., and kind of distilling down the who you are and what you want kind of stuff that comes from a life plan, and then forming the business plan. The business plan can be built with a home-based model or an online model, a franchise, or a business out of the ether, whatever it may be, but that should be molded to your life plan, to who you are. That way you make sure you own the business instead of the business owning you.
Do you think this is something new that we're seeing in this new generation? And I mean, I don't think my dad ever thought about a life plan. He just, had to go to work every day, and,
right.
A lot of his dreams were squashed with just having to be a provider. So do you think this is something that's becoming more and more important to us? We think life plan first?
Well, I think in the days gone by, the options were much narrower, and there was more of a formula that you had to live by. And I think today the options are really extraordinary. With a free website you can get through Office Live or whatever it may be, you can get online and create a part-time business or a full-time business. And so you really need to understand yourself, and that way you'll create the best business for yourself. So yes, I think life planning is more relevant than ever.
I'm so glad to hear that, because I'm a big believer in that. Being a mom and a small business owner, the challenges are huge, so you really need to have those priorities right down there in paper.
I think that's the right way to say it. It's about your priorities. Mm-hmm. And that point that I made, you don't want your business to end up owning you. There are so many cases where people have a passion, they've got a great idea, they get into business, and all of a sudden it's not what they thought it was. And it's not doing for them what they had hoped for, so you want to avoid that situation. That's a no-no.
Right. That's the other thing. You don't want to buy into your own hype. You're talking about passion, but you can't just listen to that.
Yes, that's another one of the 5 no-nos I wanted to discuss today. Buying into your own hype comes from that incredible passion that we have. Passion is one of our greatest assets as entrepreneurs, but that can be intoxicating as well, and it can lead you off into the woods when instead, you want to make sure that that's tempered by making sure you get feedback from people out there in the marketplace, not just from a close friend who might say what they think you want to hear, but from a big enough group of people so that you're really bouncing your ideas, your plans off of the market.
And you cannot follow this rule, believe in yourself only, right? That's all in capital letters.
Yeah, well, I have to say that there is a spirit for entrepreneurs, and that's called independence. Maybe July 4th should be the national holiday for entrepreneurs. And so we believe in ourselves, and that can be a no-no also, because really, typically, we're good at certain things, or maybe one thing, and then we should make sure that we surround ourselves with other people and other resources to backfill and do those other things. I don't like the numbers, so I'm not going to do the numbers. I love selling. I'm going to focus on selling. I'm going to backfill with other people in an outsourcing kind of mode or perhaps through hiring to make sure that I complete the picture. But focus on what you do best because that's what you love. It'll bring out the best in you, and it'll add the most value to your business.
Yeah, I think a lot of the problems for small business owners is we think we have to do everything. We got this superhero complex, right? And it's like,
That's
I've got to
right.
be the accountant, the marketer.
Yeah.
Leave
the superhero stuff to Saturday morning cartoons. If you want to be a successful entrepreneur, surround yourself with other superstars.
That's a great idea. Okay, so important for small businesses to reinvent the rules, or should we do things like things have always been done?
Well, I would say that if you assume, first of all, it's okay to start businesses that are very similar to other businesses that exist today or have existed in the past. You don't have to come up with a newfangled business idea. But on this no-no, I think the important takeaway is to make sure that you do take advantage of new things like technology. There is efficiency that you can take advantage of today that wasn't available yesterday in the era gone by. Things that enable you to communicate with your customers, text messaging to your customers, or email marketing to your customers through permission. Those kinds of things can be so economical, so effective. So make sure you're exploring all of the technology available to you so that you can indeed run the business in the most effective way. So don't necessarily just do business as usual.
Right, we've learned a lot about the technology that's available to small businesses through this 4-day summit, and it's immense. Really, the support is out there, and you just need to know where to go.
Yes, you know, this is a unique time because all of those really big companies, a company like Microsoft, for example, have realized how important the little guy and the little gal are to them, and so there are solutions available today that used to be only available to those $100 million or billion-dollar type companies.
Right, so we've learned a lot about, the accounting systems. I mean, they're phenomenal. They can do so much that 10 people used to do.
Yeah, absolutely. And so absolutely get the accounting package, it might be Accounting Express, whatever it may be. Get those things in place so that, going back to one of our other points, you're focusing your time, your incredibly valuable time, maybe your most valuable resource, on the value creation that comes from you doing what you do best. So get rid of the other distractions, take advantage of technology that enables you to do strategic things with your business.
As an entrepreneur yourself, Rich, what's been your favorite project so far?
Well, working in Startup Nation, I, on a daily basis, am interacting with our very active community of entrepreneurs. I see them make breakthroughs. I get a lot of feedback from people who are living, living their dream and moving forward in life, and they're exhilarated. So I really have to say that, to be able to do a business like StartupNation.com that draws upon what I love, and to do something that is bringing so much value to other people who are out there trying to pursue their passion, and to facilitate that, that's a winner for me.
All right, so you're kind of at the epicenter of all these folks who are coming to you with their issues and their ideas, and you're kind of feeding through all these different ideas and things through your StartupNation.com. Do you think that the biggest thing is for people is just to start, just to take that first step? I mean, we hear about people just talking and not doing anything. I mean, yeah. I've been guilty of that. Is that really what you hear consistently from people? It's just like taking that first step?
I think that is, I think the feet are very heavy before that decision is made, that action is taken, and then once you take that first step, the next step comes after it, and off you go. So that is a hurdle that you just have to push past. And once you do, by trying a little of this, experimenting with a little of that, you actually will go forward with your business concept. You might get a little bump and bruise along the way, but as long as you avoid some of these no-nos and you make some smart decisions and you keep taking action, you've got a great chance for success.
All right, so taking that first leap, starting a business is scary. What can we do to, do a test up the flagpole, a test run? Would you recommend that?
Well, it's a fair assumption to make that each of the entrepreneurs who embark on this path have very limited resources. And one thing some people are guilty of when they start a business is kind of blowing their dough too quickly on something that they didn't need to be so aggressive on. So for example, I might spend a lot of money on inventory for my business out of the gate, but not know which products ultimately are going to be the most popular. So what I want to do is I want to go inch by inch, just very carefully, do some testing, see what you get a response to, post some things on an eBay or Amazon, whatever it may be, and see where the response is, and then follow that like a heat-seeking missile. So be careful with the risks you take, test and be conservative initially, make sure you have reserve money so that you can throw the rest of that money into what seems to be working. Be careful with your initial decisions with your limited resources of money.
All right, we have a phone call. This is Doris from New York on the line. Doris, do you have a question for Rich today? Doris, are you there?
Yes, I am. Rich, if you're an expert in your field, how do you Yes, can you hear me?
Yeah, we can hear you now, Doris. Yes. Go ahead.
How do you define yourself as an expert?
Well, if you're an expert in your field and you are building a business around that, I think the important thing to do is to establish your credibility to make sure that that expertise is expressed. And so the first thing I would recommend, Doris, is that you get that website. You can do that for free with Office Live. And make sure there that you put up some articles, you get that blog going, you allow people to subscribe to it, that you submit some press releases and your content to the media so that you can be a source for the media. You want to absolutely use clients that you've had in the past to provide reference accounts or testimonials about your expertise and capability. And you kind of want to build that aura around you, and you want to make it easy for people to encounter you. So in the trades, online, through the blog, maybe you want to do a podcast also or a webcast. These are all things that are possible and really can establish you. And then the last thing I'd say, Doris, is find other experts or complementary websites that you can partner with and offer your content there and offer value there so that you kind of expand your outreach and your presence, your footprint, if you will.
That's great advice, Rich. Yep. Thank you very much. Doris, thank you for your call as well.
Thank you.
Now, if you'd like more information on Rich and the Sloan Brothers in general, just go to sbsummit.com/guests. And for more information on how to start up your own business, go to startupcenter.com. Thanks, Rich.
Thank you.